Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Family Storms, where the storms just keep rolling in with Dr. Cathy. Hi, I'm Dr. Cathy Reimers, a psychologist in New Jersey, and I have counseled children, teens, adults, and families for the past 25 years. During my years of my practice, I have observed and experienced unprecedented changes in the American families. All of these changes have caused an unraveling of our families and is creating constant conflict in our families, which I refer to as the family storm. As a result, many kids and parents are feeling out of control, helpless, hopeless, desperate, threatened, fearful, and depressed. The purpose of this show is to gain insight into your behavior, to find the truth behind your family dynamics, and the role that you play in perpetuating the family storm. It is only through facing our truth, as painful as it may be, that we will be able to survive the storm by freeing ourselves from unconscious negative behaviors that hold us captive to our family's dysfunction. Learning how to cope and utilize tools will help you and your family gain peace, harmony, optimism, and hope. Call 646-200-0148 every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the show is live, or listen in at your convenience on Blog Talk Radio. Type in Family Storms. So listen in and ride out the storm. Hi, tonight's episode is about healing your lonely soul during the holidays. You know, our soul is very vulnerable during the holidays since it is the season of family storms. Do you feel empty during the holidays? Do you feel numb during the holidays? You just don't feel anything? Do you feel a deep loss during the holidays? Death of a mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter, best friend, a pet, a job, a dream? Do you wish the holiday didn't exist, but you don't know why? Do you make excuses for not putting up the tree or any other decoration? Have you lost your spirit for the holidays? Are you just going through the motions like a robot during the holidays? Do you feel alienated by the holidays? If you answered yes, then maybe you should continue to listen in and determine why you feel this way and what you can do to help yourself through this difficult time. So, what is the lonely soul? Well, it's all these feelings and thoughts that you have experienced when you answered the above questions. You know, your soul is the access to your creativity. It's your intuitions. It's your enthusiasm. It's your inner voice, awakened self, presence, spiritual being, vital force, conscience, courage, vitality, genius, uniqueness, recesses of your heart. To heal your soul, you must awaken and revisit that part of you that has been deeply hurt. And let me tell you, this is no easy task. Think for a moment. What question above or cluster of questions seem to pain you the most? Is it the loss? Maybe you got in a fight with your family and now you're just cut off and you don't see them anymore? Or you're holding a grudge? Or you're missing your children. Maybe it's a divorce. You know, get the kids these holidays. You know, or your kids are all grown up and now they're going to their in-laws or they're away. They've moved away across the country. There are lots of reasons. Now ask yourself why. For example, if it is around loss, you ask yourself, who did you lose? Well, we just answered some of that. How did these changes affect your life? Not just during the holidays. But what changes has it brought about? How did you cope? Did you get depressed? You feel anxious during the holidays? If you could talk to this person right now, what would they say about you? That's an interesting question. Not what you say to them, but what would they say about you? And what message would you want to give to them? What would you want to say to them? What have you learned from this experience of loss? You know, I spoke to a woman today about her mother, and her mother constantly repeats herself. Yes, the woman is very elderly, but there may be a message more than just early short-term memory problems. So what was it? What was the message that the woman needed to hear but didn't? Just kind of said, well, it's because of her, she can't remember anymore. Maybe there's a deeper meaning in this. Maybe the woman needs to be more patient. And maybe if she were able to accept the patience, maybe it would be a whole different scenario. It's an interesting concept. Another question. Who do you need to forgive? The other person or yourself? I once read, the only forgiveness that matters in the long run is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness stems from the realization that whatever you might have done, or even whatever the other person might have done, has less to do with the action itself, but more with the judgment that you have placed against yourself for judging in the first place. Guilty conscience. So really, you're punished by your own judgment. The deep pain you have experienced in your life, the one that won't seem to let go, is anchored in having forgotten your connection to your higher self, your spiritual being, your soul. Realize the pain that you may be experiencing is not your enemy. The greater the resistance to what is, the greater the persistence of the challenge that you are facing. Simply said, what you resist persists. Have you noticed that? I know. I still think I'm getting a lesson in patience, too. Every time I want to hurry up with something, a new obstacle appears. Ask yourself, what are the things in my life that keep happening over and over again? Is it a breakup in the relationship? Is it fights with your kids? Is it fights with your boss? And ask yourself why. Is the world or the people really out to get you? Maybe it's you who needs to change. The answer lies in asking yourself, what obstacles are before me and why? Opening the door of true acceptance of pain without resistance allows you to let go of the pain because it is no longer an issue. The door that is open can be used as both an entrance and an exit. When you accept the emotional pain, this shows that you're not afraid of it anymore. And in the same breath, the pain leaves as if it were exhaled away. On the other hand, a door that is closed and locked does not allow pain to come in. You know, we may be fooled into thinking that we've blocked the pain, but the truth is it does creep in through the cracks of our unconscious. Being in a locked room with emotional pain such as depression makes you feel all alone. And yet, you don't know why, because it is the unconscious, as your soul cries. You must have faith and courage to open the door. By opening the door allows you to awaken and step into your soul. Remember, the soul is the connection to your higher spiritual self. Stepping into your soul feels like walking gracefully on air. So comfortable, so easy. Not that I've ever walked on air, but I can just imagine it. Only then are you truly free and at peace with yourself and others. You find that you don't feel all alone, because the truth is you were never all alone in your soul. Know that you have all the answers to healing your soul. You just have to access it. Now, I'm going to tell you some ways how you can gain access to your soul. Well, you could try meditation. Certainly you can, if you don't know what some meditation exercises, just Google it in. Secondly, you could try prayer. Say a prayer every day for someone and just see what happens. Religious practices, your belief system. Maybe you feel that through going to a special, say, church service and listening to the carolers. Fourth, you could be immersed in nature. Fifth, you could have spiritual experiences, develop rituals. Well, when I said before about being immersed in nature, I mean it. For example, I run around what I call a circle of meditation. These are my pine trees that I planted in a circle. And when I run around that, I feel so good. I see the nature. I see the animals. I see the plants. It's such a higher feeling. Reading is another thing that you could do. Some reading materials that bring you peace, such as for my daughter used to read Where the Sidewalk Ends. It was a silly little poetry book, but she loved it. And I came across it again when I saw a child, and I said, what's that book? And I noticed it. I go, oh, wow, that's wonderful. There was something that was very much touched in me. Creative writing. You can journal. You can write poems. You can write love letters to yourself, to others. Creative writing. You can write blogs. You can write websites. Do all that. Playing and creative music. So you can play music, but you also can write it. Music is one way to the soul, for sure. Doing art. I know my kids it was interesting, one holiday, we went back to the backwoods and we dug up some old bottles, and they made the most beautiful decorations, putting beads and various arts and crafts on them. And I still have them up on my kitchen. The other thing that you can do is relaxation exercises. And again, these are exercises that help you relax your body, where you do like a little bit of meditation, but with using deep breathing exercises. The next thing you could do is do something that you're passionate each day. For me, I like to feed and watch my rabbits, pet the dog, and run or walk in the woods. Another thing that you can do to get in touch is to recognize your hurt feelings, your anger, your resentments, and fears. Let them go. Create harmony in your life. Another thing you can do is help. Every day, ask yourself, how can I help or serve others? How about helping Superstorm Sandy? and Sandy Hook victims, or any other victims that you would, or volunteer work that you'd like to do. Last thing, know that unconditional love and compassion heals all souls. It is true. Love heals all. So open a door to your soul so that others may learn from you. There are many master souls out there if you're willing to listen, learn, and accept your current condition. And remember, when you have opened the door to your soul, you find that you don't feel alone. Because the truth is, you were never all alone in the dwelling of your soul. In knowing this, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Join me, Dr. Cathy, every Monday night, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Family Storms at Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for joining us.